There is no seal in the vagina. There is no guaranteed bleed the first time you have sex. It's a myth. It's all fake. The expression "pop the cherry" is apparently something that came in the 1970s, actually. And it goes back to this whole myth about the hymen, where you vision it as a membrane, a seal of the vagina. And it's something that is popped like a balloon. It says poof, and it's ruined. But if you just take 2 seconds to think about that, it doesn't make any sense, because girls have periods and the blood needs to come out of the vagina. About half of women bleed the first time they have sex, but that does not mean that their hymen is broken or gone or anything like that. It can mean that the hymen has gotten a small tear, but most often we can assume that it's actually caused by lack of lubrication and a tight, intense vaginal muscles. And teenage boys are notoriously known for being bad at foreplay, so that is a very bad combination: a dry, tight vagina and an eager young man. If you're a heterosexual. First time sex bleeds might be because of bad sex and not the hymen. There's a widespread myth that a doctor like me can tell if a woman has had sex before. I work in the gynecology department, and I can tell you, you can't tell. A lot of countries, actually, governments still practice this on an official level. You have to do a virginity test to be part of the military. You have to do a virginity test if you're accusing someone of rape. A lot of doctors write virginity certificates by looking at the hymen, and they have these signs that they think are a sign of penetrative sex. But hymen is an elastic rim of tissue that is at the opening of the vagina. It can be shaped in several ways. Most normal is that it's like half moon crescent shape, but it can also be shaped like a donut. But most often it's a large elastic hole in it, so it can accommodate a penis, a dildo, or whatever you want to put there, or at least a tampon. Losing your virginity has always been seen as kind of a rite of passage, and it's never really a right time to do it. Everyone wants to do it at exactly the same time as everyone else. Don't want to be too early, then you're a slut. You don't want to be too late, then you're a prude or a nerd or whatever. There's 2 aspects of having sex for the first time. It's your head and it's your body, and they need to talk together. Sometimes you really want to have sex, but your body is not ready. You're not getting wet, you're tensing up, your body is telling you no. And other times your body is saying like, yeah, this is, I'm ready for this, but your head is freaking out. Those 2 parts need to be on the same page. And there's no right time. It's only a right time for you, and you decide when you are ready. First time sex, since it's put such emphasis on it in our society, it can be an extra burden for people whose first sexual experience is actually a very traumatic experience. People who are subjected to rape or incest, and just having that being your defining entrance into the sexual world of adults can be an extra burden, and it's just so unnecessary. Your first time doesn't define you in any way. The cultural significance of virginity is just, it's age old and it's everywhere. And first written laws that we have, 2000 years BC, you have detailed rules about governing virginity and girls' virginity. You have it in the Torah, you have it in the Bible. These girls and their virginity were seen as a commodity. It's pure business. Men and families owned their daughters, and they could sell them for a very high value, but only if they were virgins. You were buying a commodity and you wanted it to be whole. Still today, 4,000 years later, we're still in a way doing the same. We're selling fake hymens online. We're doing hymenoplasty to restore something that was never really there. So now it's like a 4,000-year history of controlling female sexuality and taking this myth of the hymen as a proof of virginity to control them and to say that women need to be pure to have any value. And I just think today's women are fed up with that. For some reason, losing your virginity just means penetrative vaginal sex, but that's a very non-inclusive concept. I mean, what about lesbians who never have sex with a man? What about people who have anal sex instead of vaginal sex, or have oral sex? It's all sex. Why is one form of sex more valuable or treated differently than the rest? I think this is something that people need to define for themselves. Some people say that the first time they orgasm is their first time. I would say that's a bit strict. Some women never orgasm, and I think they would feel left out if that was the definition. But I think it's up to everyone to define this. It's no